भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
सुन गैया, बोल कन्हैया, कलयुग में गीता श्लोक सिखाया जा रहा है। कहाँ कान्हा? गीता परिवार के ऑनलाइन जूम पर 20 दिनों में 2 अध्यायों का संस्कृत में शुद्ध पठन, गीता गुंजन सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा। साप्ताहिक गीता अर्थ विवेचन सत्र, 4 स्तरों पर संपूर्ण भगवद गीता का निशुल्क प्रशिक्षण, सभी अध्यायों के निशुल्क PDF, ऑडियो व वीडियो सामग्री मिलेगी। संस्कृत व्याकरण के लिए अतिरिक्त कक्षाएं होंगी। जून 2020 से अब तक 131 देशों से 4 लाख से अधिक गीता प्रेमी साधकों को प्रवेश। तो चलो हम भी चलें। reg.learngita.com आओ हम भी चले, रजिस्टर नाउ। Welcome to free online Geeta classes. It's a journey of mantras. We learn Geeta shloks in 4 levels. In first level, we learn 2 adhyay in 20 days. Then we will get a precious Geeta Gunjan certificate. We conduct extra grammar classes to learn Sanskrit easily. You will get free audio video and PDF of adhyayas. There are amazing weekly interpretation sessions. This class is conducted 40 minutes a day, 5 days in a week, in 13 time slots and in 12 languages. What are you waiting for? Join fast. Register now on reg.learngita.com. Hurry up and join fast. Jai Shri Krishna. अरे ओ कान्हा, रुक तो जरा, भाग भाग के कहाँ जा रहा है? मैया, गीता परिवार के ऑनलाइन जूम क्लास में गीता सिखाया जा रहा है। मैं वही जा रहा हूँ। जरा यह तो बता, वहाँ होता क्या है? मेरे भक्त गीता का शुद्ध उच्चारण करते हैं, मुझे आनंद आता है। आज ही गीता के श्लोक सीखने के लिए रजिस्टर करें। रजिस्टर नाउ reg.learngita.com। गोपियों, तुम भी चलो गीता सीखने के लिए। मैं आ रहा हूँ।
जब भगवत गीता पढ़ना मैंने आरंभ किया, शुरू में तो मुझे ये लग रहा था कि एक धार्मिक किताब है, हिंदू धर्म का होने के नाते ये सारा मुझे पता होना चाहिए। लेकिन जैसे जैसे मैं अंदर चलता गया वैसे वैसे अंदरूनी बदलाव आता गया। कोई कहता है भगवान मिलेंगे गीता पढ़ने से, मुझे मिल चुके। कहाँ है भगवान? भगवत गीता स्वयं कहती है कि मैं तो बीज प्रदाता हूं। भगवान ने बीज प्रदान हम लोगों को किया, अंश रूप से वो हमारे अंदर स्थापित हो गए और वो अंश रूप जो है वो हमारा आत्मा। क्या हम आत्मा से अंदर से संतुष्ट है? ये संतुष्टि का अभ्यास करना पड़ता है। देह तो मंदिर है भगवान, देह भी सुंदर होना चाहिए, देह सुदृढ़ होना चाहिए, देह लचीला होना चाहिए, स्फूर्तिला होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मंदिर साफ नहीं रखेंगे तो भगवान अंदर बैठेंगे कैसे? और इसलिए नित्य योग तो करना ही चाहिए। और भगवत गीता योग भी सिखाती है, अष्टांग योग सिखाती है, कैसे बैठना है ये भी सिखाती है, कैसे सांस लेना ये भी सिखाती है। लेकिन यदि अंतिम कोई संदेश है भगवत गीता का तो वो ये है, तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम् अनुस्मरयत् मयि अर्पित मनोबुद्धिर मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्। असंशय यदि मुझे प्राप्त होना है तो उसके लिए क्या करना होगा? मयि अर्पित मनोबुद्धिर, मन और बुद्धि अर्पण करके, तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु नित्य युक्ता उपासते। ये जो बात है कि मैं सदा सर्वदा उसके चिंतन में लगा रहूं, मन और बुद्धि से लगा रहूं, और युद्ध के समय पर तो ज्यादा लगा रहूं।
ज्योति चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय श्री कृष्ण। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Salutations to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, who is son and joy of Father Vasudeva and Mother Devaki. Salutation to him, who is boy of coward Nanda Maharaja and is himself God of universe Govinda. On the behalf of Geeta Parivar, I Arya Indani welcome all respected members and Krishna Premis in this grand Geeta interpretation section, chapter 1. To begin with this pious program, I would like to invite Sadhana Didi for a beautiful prayer. Sadhana Didi is from Delhi, who is a homemaker and plays critical role in such as PA, GC, exam taking since 2021. Didi?
जय श्री कृष्ण। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। सभी को जय श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you so much, Didi. नमस्ते शारदे देवी वीणा पुस्तकधारिणी विद्यारंभ करिष्यामि प्रसन्ना भव सर्वदा। To make this evening a blessed one and invoke Goddess Saraswati by lighting a lamp of knowledge and wisdom, I would like to call upon Alka ji from Vani, who is retired teacher and now co-trainer in level 2 since 2021.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः, वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you so much, Didi. The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we are having some of them here to build at this event. I feel blessed to introduce our today's guide and speaker, Vikas Vaidya ji, who is extremely incredible. Being owner of an IT company, he has spent time to serve and lead Geeta Parivar. He is involved in teaching and vivation of Vishnu Sahasranam past long time. He himself has recited 18 adhyayas of Geeta and is now guiding and motivating Geeta Premis to achieve all the peaks. I would request Bhaiya to take over the platform.
जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। We are discussing Adhyay first. Today we will conclude that Adhyay. Before that, let us start with the Prarthana. Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna to all. So last time we had covered up to slok number 36. 36 slok was Nihatyadhardharashtrannah ka priti syajjanardana papamevashrayedasman atvaitana tatayinaha. So what pleasure we are going to derive, Krishna, by killing sons of Dhritarashtra? They are terrorists, atatayin. They are aggressors. But even then, by killing them, we will only incur sin because they are our relatives. To kill family is a big sin. So even if they are aggressors, we should not kill them. Okay, having said that, now Arjuna goes further. Having pointed out the evil consequences of the war, now Arjuna now dwells upon the sheer impropriety of the war, waging the war. Slok number 37. Tasman narha vayam hantun dhartarashtran svabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama madhava. Tasman. Tasmat means therefore. That's why. No, never. Arha is proper. Vayam. Vayam is pronoun in Sanskrit. That means we. Hantum. Hantum is to kill. Dhartarashtran. Sons of Dhritarashtra. Swabandhavan. Our relatives, our friends. Swajan. Our family members. Katham. How. Hatva. By killing. Sukhina. Happy. Syama will become. And Madhava is calling for Lord Krishna. So Arjuna says, therefore, Tasmat, Lord Krishna, therefore, it is not proper for us to kill sons of Dhritarashtra. Tasman naraha vayam hantun dhartarashtran. And our friends and relatives, Swabandhavan. Not proper to kill sons of Dhritarashtra and our own friends and relatives. What and how we can derive happiness if we kill our own people? Swajanam hikatam hatva sukhina syama madhava. What kind of pleasure we are going to derive? What kind of happiness? Sukhina. So tasman nahra vayam hantun dhartarashtran svabandhavan. The arguments against the slaughter of our kith and kin so far given by Arjuna. Arjuna says they are enough to convince us that it is improper to indulge in this kind of destructive activity like war against our own family, against our own relatives. How can we, who are regarded as virtuous persons, Pandavas are regarded as virtuous persons, how can we perform such a heinous act? Tasman narha vayam hantun dhartarashtran svabandhavan. Then further, swajanam higatam hatva sukhina syama madhava. Madhava, that means the husband of Ma Lakshmi. Ma is Lakshmi. And Dhava, Pati of Lakshmi is Madhava. So that name, Madhava of Lord Krishna. Madhava, this mere thought that we are killing our own people has made us so much uncomfortable, the cause of the big pain in us. Mere thought of it, that we are going to kill our own friends and relatives, this thought itself has made us so much disturbed. If this really happens, what will happen? If we really kill them, what kind of pain we are going to suffer? What kind of happiness we are going to get if we slaughter our own people? So the delusion which is born out of sense of mind deprives Arjuna the sense of his duty, because he thinks these are my people, mine. And as a member of warrior class, he should not have done that. But where there is delusion, there is no common sense. When the person gets confused, his common sense stops working. When the discretion is suppressed by delusion, the sense of duty, it definitely gets blurred. He doesn't understand what he's doing and why he's doing that. Everything gets blurred. Slok 38 now. See, the question arises why Duryodhana does not think this on the same lines like Arjuna was thinking. Arjuna was thinking that we are killing our own people, but Duryodhana doesn't think like that. He is also going to kill his own people. They are also his kith and kin only. So why not like this? So Arjuna imagines this and he explains this, why they are not thinking and why I am thinking, why we should think. So he says, Yadyapyedena pashyanti lobho pahata chetasaha kulakshay krutan dosham mitradrohe cha patakam. Yadyapyete, yadi and api, these two words come together, and ete means they. Yadi, api and ete becomes yadyapyete. Yadi means same in Hindi. If api is even, ete means they means Kauravas. Na pashyanti, they don't see. Because lobho pahata chetasaha, lobho, greed, pahata, overpowered by, stolen by, chetasaha, hearts. Kulakshay, by killing the family. Krutam is done. Dosham is dosh, sins, plot. Mitra drohe, by agitating, fighting against our friends, that is mitra droha. Patakam, the sinful act. So Arjuna says further that even if their hearts are overpowered, are taken away by the greed, lobho pahata chetasaha. Their hearts have been stolen, have been taken away, have been overpowered by the greed. And that's why they say nothing wrong in killing their family members. Yadyapyete na pashyanti. Because lobho pahata chetasaha kulakshay krutam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam. Their hearts have been stolen, have been overpowered by the greed in their mind. That's why they don't see anything wrong in killing the family, in killing their own friends. What kind of great sin is involved in that they don't see. Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobho bhavata chetasa kulakshay krutam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam. We'll take the next look also together. Kadhannadneyam asmabhe papa dasman nivartitum kulakshay krutam dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. Katham means why. No, should not. Neyanam, to be known. Asmabhi means by us. Papat, from the sins. Nivartitum, to get rid of, to retire. Nivartitum. Kulakshay krutam, by destroying the kula, the dynasty, the family. Dosham is the crime, dosha. Prapashyadhi, those who understand this, those who understand, who see this well. Prapashyadhi, that we have seen. Now Janardana is the calling for Arjuna, Lord Krishna. So after having said that Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobho bhavata chetasa kulakshay krutam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam, Arjuna says further, Kathannadneyam asmabhi papa dasman nivartitum kulakshay krutam dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. Lord Janardana, we ourselves who very well understand the sinful acts involved in destruction of our own dynasty, they don't understand because their hearts are stolen, overpowered by greed. But we are good people, no? We understand. We are virtuous. We understand this is the sin involved in killing our own family, in killing our own friends. So that's why we should not think of getting rid of this. Should we not think of getting rid of this sinful act? Why should not get rid of this sinful act when we understand? Kulakshay krutam dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. Prapashyadbhir. We understand well. They don't understand, but we understand. We are virtuous people. We understand what kind of great sins are involved in killing our own people. So why we should not withdraw from this? Papa dasman nivartatam. Why should not we withdraw from this kind of thing? wherein we are killing our own people. यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभो भवति चेसा कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्. Greed consists in desiring to have more and more of wealth, more and more of property, more and more of praise, respect, rank, everything. That is the greed. It is because of greed that Duryodhana lost his common sense, his discretionary power, his discretionary strength. And so they do not think about the disastrous consequences of waging the war. And the scenes, the papa that will accrue from it. This extraordinary greed had deprived them of their sense of discretion. And little do they realize that the kingdom for which they are doing such a big sinful act, committing such a big sin of destroying their kith and kin, is not going to stay long with them. It's going to go one day. It's not going to stay with them permanently. And always we should remember that the pleasure of possession is soon followed by the pleasure of, pain of deprivation. We get deprived of what we have possessed. So that pain is unbearable. The pleasure of possession is great, but the pain of deprivation is something which cannot be explained. So this outweighs that pleasure of possession. With the minds deluded by the greed for kingdom, they do not perceive the deadly sin which will arise by destroying their own families. See, a battle causes loss of time, loss of energy, loss of life, loss of property, everything. And people are assailed by worries and hardships. When there is a quarrel between two friends, they turn into enemies. The quarrel turns them into enemies. Two good friends also become enemies. This was the case with Drupada and Dronacharya also. They were friends, but some incident occurred and they became enemies. So now they are standing against each other to kill each other. Friends can turn into enemies. They do not perceive the evil of destruction of the race and the sin that will accrue from the enmity towards these friends. Once upon a time they were friends, but now okay, they are enemies. But there are a lot of people who are still friends. Katannadnyemasmabhi papadasma nivartatam. See, though Duryodhana do not perceive any guilt in extermination, in killing of their family, and the sin accruing from the enmity towards friends. Yet, we should resist. We should resist that kind of action from our side. We should withdraw from such sin. Because we know it very well that the destruction of family is an evil and enmity towards friends is a big sin. If those friends cause us some pain, it will not be harmful for us. They may cause us pain. It will not be harmful for us because the pain will destroy our sins and purify us. We'll repay whatever wrong things we might have done previously, earlier. So we'll get cleansed if they give us the pain. But if we have the feeling of malice and enmity towards our friends, then those feelings, though that malice will going to stick with us for a whole time, for all the time to come. And that will instigate us to commit sins and lead us to degradation. Therefore, we certainly should not take this action of committing that sin of fighting war against our friends and kith and kin. Now here Arjuna is talking about the greed of Duryodhana and Kauravas. But he is not thinking about his own fault. What is his fault? Infatuation and delusion. Getting attached, infatuation. And delusion, the confusion of mind. So he cannot understand his duty because he is affected by infatuation and by delusion. It is a rule. It is a rule that a man cannot perceive his shortcomings, his failings, as long as he perceives defects in others. If you start looking defects in others, then you overlook the defects in yourself. You try to concentrate only on his defects. This is what exactly was happening with Arjuna. He was trying to find faults in Duryodhana and Kauravas, forgetting about the faults which he himself possessed. He feels rather proud of his superiority that he has no defect. While the defect is that everyone generally possesses one or other defect. All of us, we have defects. But being proud that I don't have defect, it's a defect itself. being proud that I have no defect is a defect itself. So Arjuna cannot pursue his own infatuation and delusion, his own defects, because he is finding fault with Duryodhana. And he thinks he is clean, he is right. Duryodhana is wrong. He is forgetting that he also possesses some kind of defects in him. Okay, Shlok 40 now. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishna madharmo vibhavatyuta. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishna adharmo vibhavatyuta. With the destruction, Kulakshay, the destruction of Kula, the dynasty, family. Pranashyanti, to get eliminated, finished, vanquished. Kuladharma, the family traditions, the family rituals. Sanatana, which are coming since eternal, since age old. Dharme, of the religion. Nashte, get destroyed. Kulam, Kulam is Kul, dynasty, family. Kristam, total, complete. Adharma, Adharma is irreligion. Actions which are against the religious teachings and principles is adharma. So this shloka says, Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishna badharmo vibhavatyuta. A danger sign Arjuna is raising now, saying that with the destruction of dynasty, the age-old and eternal family rituals and family traditions will get vanquished, will get finished. And thus the remaining members of family become involved in the acts which are against the religious teachings and principles. They will start following adharma. They will become adharmi. So this is another danger Arjuna is projecting as a result of war. So in these 2-3 shlokas, Arjuna is saying that although these men, their hearts are clouded by greed, they see no sin in killing their family and inflicting cruelty on their own friends. Why should we, who can see the evil in this action, not refrain from this sin, Krishna? With the destruction of family, the spiritual family traditions perish forever. And then the unrighteousness dominates the entire society. Those who are filled with greed, such people end up destroying the entire clan, entire dynasty. They do not heed good advice given to them by their good friends. They ignore the advice given to them. In fact, anyone who opposes their action, he becomes their enemy. They think that why he is opposing my action? Now he is my enemy. He opposed my action, so he is my enemy. They regard him as an enemy. A lot of people who had tried to instill sense in Duryodhana also tried to reason out with him, including Bhishmacharya, Vidur, King Draupad, and then Lord Krishna himself. But Duryodhana did not heed their advice. Moreover, even Dhritarashtra would not understand, as he was so entrenched to his attachment to Duryodhana that he said, whatever Duryodhana does is right. I am not against Duryodhana. Whatever he does is always right. Duryodhana was very dear to Dhritarashtra, and his son's wishes were paramount to Dhritarashtra. So Duryodhana's wishes were of paramount importance to Dhritarashtra. He said that his son did not agree with the advice and reasoning offered by everyone. He was capable of preventing the imminent war. So Dhritarashtra also did not try anything to prevent the war. Now Arjuna says that Janardana, is there a greater sin than greed that has overtaken these men, Kauravas? Their hearts are so full of greed that they see nothing wrong in killing their family and friends. If our entire clan gets destroyed, then that will become an unrighteous act. And with the destruction of dynasty, the long-running family traditions will be aborted. Who will perform? Everybody gets wiped out. Who will perform family traditions? Now here Arjuna is bringing in the context of social traditions and customs, which were prevalent that time also. And he says that every family, every clan follows a traditional path of righteousness, a set of ethical precepts, so as to say. So the entire clan gets wiped out, who will then continue with these moral precepts which are prescribed by their ancestors. and that were handed down to them from generation to generation. And these precepts are not new, they are ancient and are being followed in families for centuries, and they will get aborted. Who will bear the responsibility for this kind of sin? Arjuna is arguing that if the ethical precepts handed over by generation together they get destroyed, then that will pave the way for the destruction of religion and righteousness in total. There will be total adharma. Dharma will get destroyed. See, basic ethical tenets or precepts from the they form the foundation of our lives. And children learn this from their parents. Like we teach our children to respect the elders, cordially greet the guests when they visit your house with warmth, feed the birds and animals, give bhiksha or that alms to the needy sannyasi who comes to your place. These are the fundamental tenets that parents impart to their children. Offering the first roti to the cow or serving the elders, being humble to elders, waking up early in the morning, do some meditation, some yoga. These are things which we teach to our children. For there are some parents who do not get up early themselves. They get up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. But okay, this is about the parents who are following normal Hindu traditions of getting up early and following some rituals of doing meditation, yoga. Now, if you have been following this fundamental ethical practice, then this itself will form the foundation of your spiritual practice. Because this will create a good atmosphere within your family if you follow all the traditions which you have learned from your earlier generation. But on the contrary, those homes which are dominated by lethargy, those homes which are controlled, which are dominated by lethargy and inertia, will they learn Geeta? Will they learn Vedanta? Will they recite Vishnu Sahasranam? No. Such homes abound only in the pursuit of material pleasures and wealth. Make more money is the motto. It does not matter how you make it. Big borrow still, whatever. Big borrow still, whatever you do. So whether you earn it fraudulently or by bribery, it does not matter. Money is important. So where the family traditions get destroyed, people start going on the wrong path. Arjuna says that the destruction of customary, traditionally followed ethical precepts, the rituals, family rituals, will in effect destroy the righteousness completely. And the society will then be dominated by sin only. So Arjuna continues talking about the consequence of destruction of dynasty along with its ethical precepts now, and says, Krishna, sin and unrighteousness will become the norm of life. The women from such families will lose their virtuosity. They will lose their virtuosity, and then what will happen is the women from such families will become polluted, and it will lead to unwanted progeny, unwanted children. Now, in those times, Manusmriti was the doctrine for all social and religious behavior as per the law. Manusmriti was the guiding principle for all the people at that time. And according to that Manusmriti text, a woman is perennially dependent on a man for her survival and support. Before marriage, she is dependent on her father or brother. After marriage, her husband becomes her protector and savior. And a widow would be dependent on her son. This school of thought was very prevalent at that time, although it was in the same age that Arjuna's mother Kunti had become an unwed mother of Karna by giving birth to Karna much before her marriage. Furthermore, the Pandavas were known by not their father's name but by their mother's name, Kunti Putra. They were addressed as the sons of Kunti. Now, Arjuna's male ego is still surfacing here, and he says that in the absence of men, the women from their dynasty will lose their virtuosity. He is not worried about men losing their virtuosity. He is worried about female women losing their virtuosity. Another factor that is relevant here is that as far as the children are concerned, it does not matter much if the father becomes wayward, father goes on the wrong path, it does not matter much. For it is the mother who takes care of the children. Even if the father is evil, as indeed we see in many cases, Hiranyaksha was one example, it did not make any difference to the child, as it was the mother who taught him the path of devotion and truth. So mothers are the main force to train their children on the right path. Fathers may be doing busy in their activity or doing some wayward activities also, but mothers are worried about the future of their children more than their father. And there are so many examples in history where the mothers have taken exemplary care of their children who have grown up such virtuous individuals. Many examples in Hindu Adhyatma. So a woman is complete on her own. She does not need anyone to make her complete. She is complete. Salute to all the women. But this male dominance has had such a deep impact of women, her psyche, that even today there are so many women we find who think that they will not be able to survive without a man's support. They are fearful of going anywhere without husband or without father or brother. And here Arjuna is expressing this very sentiment. He says that if women become wayward and depraved, there will be no hope left for the welfare of their children. Adharma bhivat Krishna pradushyanti kula striyaha strishu dushtasu varashneya jayate varna sankaraha. This is what Arjuna is explaining. That Krishna, when the social behavior violates religious principles and such behavior becomes dominant, then the ladies, even from the respectable families, kulastriya, they become polluted. And when the family ladies get polluted, it gives birth to unwanted, undesired, hybrid generation, hybrid children. What is hybrid children? Varna Sankara. There could be Dharma Sankara. People of two different religions getting married and producing children. That is Dharma Sankara. People of two different Varnas getting married and producing children. That is Varna Sankara. People of different castes getting married and producing children. That is Jati Sankara. People who follow different dressing traditions, like we follow saris or Punjabi suit. People in West, they follow mini skirt and midi skirt or some such clothing. So this difference, it creates a Vesh Sankara, Ahar Sankara. Some people are strictly vegetarian. Some people, they enjoy eating non-vegetarian food. When they get married together, it creates a Ahar Sankara. So Sankara means contradicting people coming together and then producing children. So what kind of habits their children will have? That is the question. Okay, we go to Shlok 42 now. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha patanti pitaro yeshal luptapindo dakakriyaha. Sankar, that such unwanted hybrid children, narakayaiva, take to the hell. Kulagnanam, for those who are killers of the family, those who have killed the family, they are called kulagnanam. Kulasya, for the family. Patanti, patanti, falling down. Pitar, pitar, the ancestors, the forefathers. Isham, for them. Lupta, lupta, disappear, stopped. Pind, pind, the offering of food to our pitar, which we perform on Shraddha day. Whatever food we offer, that is called pinda. Udak, udak is water. Kriya, the action of performing that Shraddha is that Kriya. So Arjuna says, Sankaro naraka yeva kulagnanang kulasya patanti pitaro yesha lupta pindo daka kriyaha. When the families get wiped out, what will happen? This hybrid generation which will come into existence because of different Varna Sankara, Jati Sankara, all sorts Sankara, what we discussed. So this created Varna Sankara, Jati Sankara of the remaining members of the family, it will cause them going to the hell. This is all Arjuna's logic, not Lord Krishna's logic. Geeta does not believe, does not support this kind of logic. This is Arjuna's frustration was he is talking what he has heard from his forefathers. This is not the teaching of Geeta. He is speaking about his frustrations, that this is what is going to happen. So he says this hybrid generation will cause all of us to go to the hell. The remaining members of the family, they will cause us to go to hell, including those who killed his family. They will also go to the hell. And the ancestors, the forefathers, the purvaj of such characterless families will fall down in their position, because the family rituals of performing their Shraddha, the annual day when they passed away, that annual day we perform the Shraddha of our Pitaras, our ancestors, our forefathers. Nobody will perform that. Nobody will be left. And these hybrid children will know nothing about all these family traditions. So they will stop doing all this. And when it is stopped, these forefathers, these ancestors will fall down from their place. It is said, how much to believe that you decide, that many families who do not follow this Shraddha, the children getting born in that family, in their horoscope, they find a dosha that is called Pitru dosh. And then the Pandit will advise you many things to be carried out to remove that Pitru dosha from the horoscope. Pitru dosha can cause obstacles in the path of the child of whose horoscope it is. Pitru dosh. Pitru dosh comes because they say that we don't follow the rituals of performing Shraddha of our forefathers. That causes the Pitru dosha. Okay. So Arjuna is saying that Varna. Now here he says Sankaro Narakayo Kulagnama Kulasicha Patanti Pitro Isha Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha. Now Varna refers to the division of Hindu society into 4 castes: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. In those times, intercaste marriages were deemed totally inappropriate. That was the time. But now, see, Hindu culture has changed with the time and we have progressed. We are not rigid that we will not change, come what may. With the time, we have also changed our traditions. But that time, everyone took a lot of pride in their own caste. Now, this does not mean that Gita is encouraging the caste-based discrimination. This creation of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra is not based on the birth. There are 2 shlokas in Bhagavad-Gītā prominently saying that Chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. Gunakarma vibhagashaha. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam. In 4th Adhyaya, there is a shloka. Paramatma says the Chaturvarna I have created. Fine, I have created. But I have created it based on guna and karma. What are the gunas they possess and what is the karmas they do? If the gunas they possess are of bravery, the person getting birth in a Brahmin family is supposed to Brahminical culture, but he is brave. He wants to go to army. Let him go. He has full freedom to go to army. But the day he joins army, he changes to Kshatriya. Because his karma will be that of Kshatriya now. Killing the people, killing the enemy, which a Brahman is not allowed to do. He is not supposed to kill people. But once your gunas are of Kshatriya, then you are no more a Brahmin. So this Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are based on guna and karma, not based on the family in which you are born. Gita never says Janma Vibhagayoho. Janma doesn't decide. Guna Karma Vibhagayoho. In 18th Adhyaya, there is another shloka. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudrana Inja Parantapa Karmani Pravivaktani Karmani. Karma decides whether you are Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Not the birth. Your karma decides. So there are umpteen number of places in Gita wherein this kind of clarification is there. But people unnecessarily blame Gita that we have created this kind of division in the society of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is not division in the society. It appears, it is there in every country. Take example of America, for example. There is a military there defending the borders. Yes. So they are all Kshatriya. There is a business community there. Yes. They are all Vaishyas. There is a service community there. Yes. They are all Shudras. And there is a community which gives church services and that Bible services. They are all Brahmins. So this, every country, every society has this division. But Hindus have been unnecessarily blamed that they have created this rift in the society, which is rubbish. Paramatma has said, Bhagavad Gita, Samatma Yoga Uchyate. following the principle of equanimity is professed by Bhagavad Gita in almost every adhyaya. Samata, 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 equanimity, equanimity. Get equipoised to all situations. Behave with everyone, externally also, remaining equipoised. So when Paramatma is advocating equipoised and equanimity, do you think he will create a rift in the society by creating Brahmin up and Shudra down? Impossible. Paramatma again and again is saying, it is based on guna karma, not based on janma. So this is a misleading propaganda against Hinduism that Gita has created this kind of rift. Gita has never said that Brahmana is up or Brahmana can never become a Kshatriya. He can become, as I gave you an example, a Brahmin person joining an army, he is no more a Brahmin, he is a Kshatriya now. A Shudra, maybe he is born in a Shudra family, that is okay. But if he is doing temple service, he is a Brahmin already. In fact, he is a higher category Brahmin than the normal Brahmin, because he has shifted from Shudra to Brahmin. So his work will decide, his karma will decide, his gunas will decide whether he is a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Gita does no such thing that making a rift in the society. So we need to understand what these categories actually mean. So who is a Brahmin? It is not someone who is born in a Brahmin family. Gita doesn't say that. Anybody born in Brahmin family is a Brahmin. No. Our sages have said that the one who has realized Brahma is a Brahmin. How many of Brahmins, so-called Brahmins of today, have realized Brahma? So are they Brahmin per se? So similarly, the one whose natural inclination is towards the business and who is interested in profit and loss and all these things, he is a Vaishya. Shudra is one whose intellect is diminutive and who is concerned only in the body matters. Similarly, Kshatriya is the one who is very brave, courageous and valiant. So these are the gunas of person, not the family. But many so-called religious people, they say that this is the rift created by Bhagavad Gita, which is rubbish, as I said. They don't understand that the real meaning of these terms, what the real meaning of these terms is. What is Brahmin? What is Kshatriya? What is Vaishya? What is Shudra? And they quote this verse, this shloka from Bhagavad Gita to condone the casteism and justify the prohibition of intercaste marriage. Gita has never said intercaste marriage is to be banned. No. So this is very strange to believe that people blame Gita for this. We cannot understand how people keep condemning this intercaste marriage, despite such in-depth clarification given by our people in our own adhyatma, in our own literature. See, there is some relevance, as for example, if a very intelligent person who is, say, highly educated, maybe he has done MS or MTech or some such thing, he is very intellectually refined person. If such a person marries someone who is not all that wise, maybe a small village girl, then who is happy in just eating and being married, then this couple, can they get along together? What matters most is the compatibility between the two personalities, their likes and dislikes. This is what matters the most for a marriage to be successful. How can the caste be a deciding factor? So when we say Brahmin or Kshatriya or Shudra, what we refer is to the inherent nature of that person. By nature he is Brahmin, by nature he is Kshatriya, by nature he is Vaishya, by nature he is Shudra, what? All those personalities, and not the labels stamped on them by the society. So if a boy and girl are having the same inherent nature, they can very well get married. To whichever caste they may belong. But how many people get married depending upon their physical, mental, intellectual and emotional compatibility? Instead, they go for looks, beautiful beauty. They go for property and they go for wealth. So Arjuna is talking about this caste system that was even more prevalent and dominant in those times than what it is today. He says that with the destruction of the dynasty, the women of the clan will interact with males of other castes and the resultant mixed breed children will further damage the society. That's Sankara. This Varna Sankara refers to the children born out of wedlock, especially those conceived by women who have had relations with the men from different castes. And this was regarded as a stigma, blight in the society. It is even now, of course. Arjuna is saying that the impending war would lead to utter disgrace and dishonor, because all such stories will be talk of the everyday ladies getting a relationship with different people and producing children. This will become an everyday affair. Thus, he says, this would be inescapable and the consequences of it will be disastrous if we go ahead with the war. Now let us discuss one important aspect. Karna, the son of Kunti. Before Kunti got married, this was pre-marriage son of Kunti. So Karna was born, he was son of Kunti, born out of wedlock. He was raised by a Shudra couple. And neither Arjuna nor any of the Pandavas, including the Dharmaraj Yudhishthira, ever missed an opportunity to sarcastically remind him of his lowly background as a Shudra. Karna is always referred as a Dasiputra, as a Shudra, Sutaputra, Dasiputra, Shud, because he was belonging to, he was taken care of by a Shudra family. So whenever they would get an opportunity, they would taunt Arjuna, Yudhishthira and all Pandavas. Lowly born one, keep quiet, don't talk. This was the treatment meted out to Karna based on his Shudra background. So you are not fit to sit with us, they used to say to Karna. We are Kshatriyas, you are Shudra, don't sit with us. Further, it is said that Karna was handsome, intelligent man with a very attractive personality, and he was as brave as Arjuna. He too had intended to participate in Draupadi's Swayamvara, but when he stood to pick up the bow, Draupadi got scared and she said, stop. You cannot participate in this Swayamvara. You are a Shudra. You can't participate here. So Karna was given repeated insults meted out to him by Pandavas. Arjuna and his brothers never let Karna to forget that he is Shudra. In this context, it is apparent that the attitude of Duryodhana was admirable. We should appreciate Duryodhana in this case. He regarded Karna as a supremely brave warrior and respected him so. Karna's background, his upbringing was inconsequential for him, for Duryodhana. Whether he was taken care of by a Shudra family and all that, he didn't care for that, Duryodhana. See, the reason that we are comparing now Arjuna's and Duryodhana's behavior is simply to point out, not that we would take Duryodhana's or Kaurava's side in Mahabharata. That's not the objective. But the point here is, you will be able to find some faults in Arjuna and some good points in Duryodhana. There are shades of goodness in Duryodhana, as this example shows. Karna, who had been condemned and denounced by everyone, was accepted only by Duryodhana, who befriended him and made him the king of a nearby kingdom. And he had no misgiving in doing so. He didn't treat Karna as a Shudra. He said, you are my friend. So this is also different characters. The shades of characters in Mahabharata are plenty. The more you study, the more you will enjoy it. Every good man has some bad thing. Every bad man has some good things. This is what it shows. Okay, we go to next sloka now. Doshairete kulagnanam varna sankarakarakaihi utsadyante jati dharma kuladharmascha shashvataha. Doshai, such faults. Kulagnanam, the destroyer of the family. Varna sankar, that hybrid unwanted children, what we are discussing. Karakai, which are the cause. Utsadyante, to get devastated, to get finished, terribly damaged. It's utsadyante. Jati dharma, religious and caste principles, Jati Dharma. Kula Dharma, family traditions and family rituals is Kula Dharma. Shashvata is eternal, age old. So Arjuna is further telling, Doshe rete kulagnanam varna sankara karakaihi utsadyante jati dharma kula dharma shashvata. By the sinful evil act of those who destroy the family traditions and thus give rise to hybrid unwanted children, all kinds of family traditions and the base principles of caste and religion get totally devastated, get totally destroyed. The trend of Varna Sankar will destroy our dynasty and the communities and family welfare will be demolished. This is what Arjuna is saying. Next shloka, 44. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushanaya janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati ityanu. Utsanna, the damage, the spoiled, kuladharmanam, family traditions, manushyanam, of such people, Janardana is calling for Lord Krishna. Narake, Narak is hell. Niyatam, always. Vasa, Vasa is to stay, to reside. Bhavati, to become. Anushushrama. Anushushrama is heard from some elderly people in the family. Anushushrama. So Arjuna says, I have heard it from old people in the family. Anushushrama. What he has heard? That those whose family traditions are destroyed, they always remain in the hell. So if you have a tradition of performing Navratra, and if you don't do that, then according to Arjuna, that family will stay in hell. Family traditions, family rituals are to be scrupulously followed. These are the teachings from coming to us from generation to generation, and any generation not following that will face the consequences. That is what Arjuna is saying. Utsanna kuladharmana manushanaya janardana narage niyatam vaso bhavatityana shushruva. So Krishna, it is sensible to become the destroyer of our traditional values. Is it right? The children born out of wedlock will not know anything about our traditional rituals. Then who will perform the rites after death? Then who will attain salvation? If the Shraddha is not performed, if the 13-day procedure after the death is not performed, how we can achieve that Param Shanti? Anyone dies, known to us, we say, Paramatma uni Sadgati de, Param Shanti de. So Arjuna's question is, who will give him Param Shanti if his rituals are not followed? Arjuna is bringing in the tradition of following the rites and rituals, that is an integral part of norms followed by traditional families. We follow it. It is indeed interesting to see people who are otherwise staunch followers of Vedanta, but when faced with the death of their family member or family, they get gripped by the fear and ask, what rite should I perform now? First day, what I have to do? Third day, what I have to do? Seventh day, 9th day, 10th day, 13th day, what I have to do? Should I offer that pinda, that means that dove balls to the crow? What should I do? So they go to a Pandit and then they consult him. Now, those of us who have experienced the death of our family members, all of us have definitely, must be aware that until the dead body is cremated and for a certain number of days after the death, so many self-proclaimed caretakers of religion come forward and they offer innumerable advices to us. Do this, don't do that, give up these, all sorts of advices will start pouring into you. And after the body is cremated, they say, don't look back. When the body is cremated, it is given to the ashes. They say, walk straight, don't look back. This is the instructions people give. Because if you look back, that dead person will follow you. This is the thing they tell us. So all those who are saying that I am the soul, not the body, they become identified with the body and that he follows everything. He considers that fellow who is dead, he will really follow me. There are ladies who, one example, one American lady, she said that my son will not perform my Shraddha. So what should I do? So she got called to India. That okay, you come to India, go to Haridwar. There, the Pandits will perform your Shraddha when you are alive. There is a place in Haridwar where you can perform your own Shraddha, thinking that your children will not perform your Shraddha and you will not get Sadgati because they don't perform your Shraddha. You perform your own Shraddha when you are alive. That will give the peace to your soul when you are dead. That is the belief. Now, how much to believe this? Can this be believed? That you can perform your own Shraddha? There are contradictory opinions on this. Take your own call whether can we perform our own Shraddha. When you have relinquished the identification to your body, given up all attachments, and then in a way you have embraced your death, you have realized that death is the unchangeable nature of body and that it cannot touch the immortal epitome of that bliss that resides within the perishable body, that means your Jivatma. But even the self-proclaimed Vedic people who say we are expert in Vedas, they worry about their death rights. They say that it is what is advocated by our scriptures and we need to follow this. So as I said, it is a call to be taken by everyone. Belief, because we are learning from Geeta that we are nothing but the Jivatma, soul. And the soul is leaving the body and taking another body. So the body is not important at all. Geeta is teaching us. We are telling everyone now after learning Geeta that we are not body. So when the body is lifeless, what is the importance of that body that we follow all such rituals? This is a food for thought, whether we should give so much of importance to the body which is already dead, or we should give importance to that Jivatma who is ready to occupy another body. We don't know which body has occupied. If you know that and you worship that body, one can understand. But you don't know which body has occupied. So you can only pray for that Jivatma. But he is already interested in another body, he has already gone. Arjuna is blinded by the ignorance and he is saying that if no one will perform the after death rites, then how will we get liberation, salvation, moksha? Also the children born subsequently will have no knowledge of these traditions of rituals and rites. Their lives will be hell and we too will be in the hell thereafter. So this is all the consequences. These are all the consequences Arjuna is telling to Lord Krishna that this is the result of war that is going to happen. We go to Slok 45 now. Aho vatamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadraj sukhalobhena hantum svajanam madhyataha. Aho, aho means alas, my God, like that. Very surprising and strange that we have decided to commit such a largely sinful act. Oh, but a mahat papam, mahat, great, papam, sinful act. Bata is how strange it is. Vyavasitaya. Vyavasita means decided. Aho, bata mahat papam, kartum vyavasita vayam, yadrajya sukhalobhena, hantum svajanam madhyata. How strange it is that we have decided to commit this sinful act, very, very sinful act, that we will kill our own people. Hantum svajana. Hantum svajana. We will kill our own people in the greed of kingdom and happiness. Yadraj sukhalobhena. How strange it is, Arjuna says. Aho batamat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadraj sukhalobhena hantum svajana madhyataha. We go to Slok 46 now. Yadi imam pratikaram shastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. Arjuna says, Yadi, even if mama, me, apratikaram, without retaliation, without offering any resistance, ashastram, without having any weapons, shastra panayaha, pana means hand, pani means hand, panayaha, those having weapons in their hands, shastra panayaha, dhartarashtra, sons of Dhritarashtra, rane, in the battlefield, hanyu means to kill. So Arjuna says, it will be better for me. It will be better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra with weapons in their hands will kill me unarmed. I will be unarmed. I will have no weapons with me, but it will be better that Kauravas, sons of Dhritarashtra, come with weapons in their hands and they kill me. It will be better for me. My goodness. A Kshatriya standing in the battlefield talking this kind of language. To lift his moral from such a low level and make him ready for the fight is a Herculean task, which Lord Krishna will definitely handle from the second adhyaya onwards. So Arjuna says, without offering any resistance and retaliation on the battlefield, I will prefer to die at the hands of Kauravas, who will come with weapons in their hands, and I will have no weapons in my hand. That death will be better for me. Last shloka. Sanjayam vacha evamukta sakher evamukta Arjuna sankhe rathopastha upavishat visrujya sasharai chapam shokasam vignamanasaha. Sanjaya says to Dhritarashtra that after saying this, that I am not going to fight the war. What happens? Arjuna, having spoken this, evam uktva, uktva saying this, sankhe, sankhe means the battlefield, upasthe, on the seat, upavishat, upavishat is to sit down, uttishta, stand up, upavishat, sit down. So upavishat, he sat down. Visrujya, visrujya is to keep away, putting aside. Sasharam, sasharam, the bows and the arrows. Sasharam, bows and the arrows. Chapam, chapam is the bow. Shoka, shoka is deeply saddened state of mind is shoka. Manasa, manasa of the mind. So Arjuna say, Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra that Arjuna, having spoken like this on the battlefield, like what? Like what we have read in last 15-20 shlokas, what Arjuna is speaking of his vishad, his frustration. He is reasoning out as to how it is a futile exercise, a bad, sinful act to enter into this war. Better we draw from it right now. After saying all this, he cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down in the chariot with a deeply saddened mind, distressed mind. So, Arjuna, having spoken on the battlefield, he is now given up. His bow he has taken out from his shoulder, kept it aside, and with a very saddened look on his face, with a very saddened mind, he sat down in the chariot. His legs were already trembling, so he sat down in the chariot. This is the end of first adhyaya. Now this is, we say, Om Tat Sati Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyāyāṁ Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamo Dhyayah. Now we say Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade. The question will come, Krishna did not speak a single word. So where is the samvad between Krishna and Arjuna? All other adhyayas, okay, Krishna is speaking, but here Krishna is totally silent. So how can we call this adhyaya Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvad? There is no samvad. Did Krishna speak a single word? Is there a single shloka coming from Lord Krishna? No. Then why we should call it Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade? See, the samvad is not only when the people, both people are talking. When there is a listener and there is a talker, when the talker is being listened by somebody else, that also is samvad. If there is no listener, then there is no dialogue, then there is no samvad. But as long as there is a listener listening, everything that is being talked by the talker, by the speaker, then that is also samvad. And here, as we see, Lord Krishna is a mute spectator. He is carefully listening to all the frustrations of Arjuna, which he has spoken out so elaborately in this adhyaya, expressing his vishad, expressing his distress, expressing his sadness. So merely listening to Arjuna is also a samvad from Lord Krishna's side. So it is right to call this adhyaya also as Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade. Both are equally involved, Krishna in listening and Arjuna in speaking. So this is also a samvad. So this is the end of this first chapter. Thank you so very much for listening to me again today. And now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. Feel free to raise your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Vaidya. To move further to question and answer session, I would like to request all of you to please turn on your videos and raise your hands to ask the question.
Okay, before I think the questions are raised, I have a couple of things to say about this adhyay in nutshell. First thing is, if we remember the first shloka of this adhyay, it says, Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsava. So first word of Gita is Dharma. First word of Bhagavad Gita, first shloka says Dharma Kshetre. Dharma is the first word. And when you learn the 18th adhyay, the last shloka of 18th adhyay, 78th shloka, which again Sanjay is saying, it says, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mamo. Mamo is the last one. The complete shloka is Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mamo. So it ends with Mamo. It started with Dharma, it ends with Mama. If you take these two words, Dharma Mama, my Dharma. Gita is all about my Dharma, my duty. These two words, they explain in nutshell the message which Gita gives is about Mama, my Dharma. Another thing which we must say is that Arjuna in the 47th shloka, Sanjay has said that Evam Ukta Arjuna Sankhe Rathopastha Upa Visrajya Sashanai Chakam Shokasam Vignamanasaha. So Arjuna, fully dejected, depressed, is sitting down in the chariot, totally given up. He takes out his bow and arrow also, keeps it aside, says, nothing doing, I'm not going to fight the war. So such a dejected, depressed person, Shri Krishna's job was to bring him and make him to fight the war. So 18th adhyay, 73rd shloka, when Arjuna says on himself, by himself, that Nashto mohaspidir labdha patpasadhan mayachyuto sthitosmi gata sandesha karishye vachanantava. All my illusions are gone. My memory has come back. What I am supposed to do, that memory has come back because of Vatprasadat, because of your grace. I have realized what I am supposed to do. And Sthitosmi Gata Sandeha. Gata Sandeha, all my confusions, all my doubts are removed now. And I have come back to my original position now, being a Kshatriya. And now, Harishye Vachanantava. I will do what you are asking me to do. That means I will take up the war. So to bring up a person from total depression to this high moral is a great Herculean task which Shri Krishna has handled in Bhagavad Gita. So these two shlokas, they tell us as to what is Gita all about. And Shri Krishna did not force him to do anything. He gave him the proper message, proper training, explained him the purpose of human life, explained him the importance of Swadharma, explained him the purpose of prescribed duties which he is supposed to do. And slowly he brought him to this level that he agreed, yes, what I was thinking was all wrong. Now what you have told me is what I am going to follow. Karishye Vachanantava. So these two things I thought I should share with you. First is Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, and then Yatra Yogeshwara, Dharma and Mama. Mama Dharma is the message of Gita. And this psychological treatment of Arjuna to bring him from total depression to again to his bravery. So this is the message of Gita, these two shlokas. Okay, now you can raise the questions, whatever you have.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna. Context to the Dwapar Yuga and looking at the all Chatur Yugas, I just my thinking, did really the social values or ethics started dwindling from Treta to till Kali Yuga?
Yeah, there it is said that all four yugas, they have four columns. Each column, the four columns are Satya, then Dana, then there are four columns. I am not remembering at the moment, but the law says, I mean, the Vedanta says that each yuga is supposed to stand on these four columns. So Satya Yuga is supposed to stand on 4 columns. Then Treta Yuga is supposed to stand on 3 columns. If 3 columns, 1 column start building, then the Paramatma will take the outer. That is what is Kali Yuga. In Dwapar Yuga, 2 columns. In Kali Yuga, we are standing only on 1 column. If that 1 column also falls down, then we can expect Paramatma to take avatar.
Yeah, that is
The one
fine.
column,
Yes.
the one column on which we are standing today is Dana and Dayalu. Daya and Dan. Only this is remaining. Truth has gone totally.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yada yada dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata, that he says. So my the question was Satyug. I'm not aware of what exactly is it, but from Treta Yuga to Dwapara and Kali Yuga, the so-called the societal values or the ethics, slowly there was some sort of dilution. That's what I wanted to ask you.
There is definitely diversion. From Satya Yuga to Kali Yuga, what we are today, Kali Yuga is said to be the worst. As I said, it is standing only on 1 column.
Yes.
Right? So if it is standing only on 1 column, Satya Yuga was standing on all 4 columns. So you can imagine the quality or the level of society which they had in Satya Yuga. Similarly, in the Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga also 3 columns, Dwapar Yuga also 2 columns, and now only 1 column it is standing.
Thank you very
So
much.
definitely Kali Yuga is the worst, but we still have another 432,000 years of Kali Yuga to go. So we still have a long time to go.
And in this chapter particularly, last I can say 7-8 shlokas, where Arjuna says Bhagavan about Varna Sankara and all these things. So as you said, they are owned by Arjuna himself, nothing to do with Geeta or Bhagavan. So what I wanted to ask is, did Bhagavan deal with this in any of the chapters going forward, or they just it was just asked by Arjuna and they just stopped over there?
No. Paramatma has elaborated on all his doubts, all his frustrations, which he has said in this Adhyay, as well as in the first 9 slokas of second Adhyay. There again, Arjuna is saying the same thing. In the second Adhyay also, he says, it is better for me to beg and live my life rather than fighting the war. So he is prepared to beg. So to that extent, he has gone. And from 10th sloka of second Adhyay, Ashocchanan Vashochatsam Pradnyavadam Shibhashase, Gata Asuna Gata Asumcha Nanu Shochanti Pandadaha. From this sloka, the real Gita starts. When Paramatma starts speaking and he starts admonishing Arjuna for talking about his frustrations. He says, all your frustrations is wrong. And one by one, up to 18th Adhyay, he has removed all his doubts. That's why I quoted only 2 slokas of about Chaturvarna, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There are slokas in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarna Maya Suktam Guna Karma Vibhagataha. They are based on Guna and Karma.
No, that is correct. That I understood. He says clearly that it is Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. That is only as per their karma and guna. They will be called either of the 4 of these things. That's fine.
Yes.
What Arjuna said, he says, if you kill all these people, when there is a dearth of male people, and if women get into wrong things and they beget any children, they will become totally like without any religion. They get into all wrong practices. Something he says. So that's this is said by Arjuna. Is this piece answered by Bhagavan anywhere in the coming chapters?
This particular question per se has not been answered, but in overall context of karma, this has been addressed.
Okay.
When you are performing your karma, you have to be ready to face the consequences of karma. And without claiming the doership or without setting your eyes on the karma phala, the fruits or return or reward of your karma, if you keep performing your karma, then you don't get entangled, then you don't get bondage. So these are the messages which Paramatma has given, which indirectly address this issue.
No.
But directly,
Right. Why I'm asking this? See what happens in today's society. Many people, they defend themselves that no, it is supporting by Geeta, we can get married with a different caste or different religion or even whatever it is, something like that.
Because briefly, that caste or no caste is not an issue. The mental setup, if mentally you are a Kshatriya and the girl you are marrying is also Kshatriya, then okay. If you are Brahmin and that girl is also having Brahminical thoughts in her mind, it is okay. So it is the guna and karma which decide whether you are compatible or you are not compatible.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
yeah, caste is not important. Your guna and karma are important.
Understood. It's very clearly mentioned over there. That's absolutely no doubt on that. I just have a last question. Arjuna, he talks about Shraddha also somewhere, and I don't remember the shloka exactly. See, this Shraddha, to my knowledge, whoever following Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma, they really know about this and they do practice it. But those who are not actually following Hindu Dharma or Sanatan Dharma, is it really applicable for them, or if they do not do it, it is fine, or it is not at all required? When we say, I'm not a body, I'm the soul, something, when we say that, does it really matter to do all those, rituals?
You see, when your ancestors have left this world, and you are saying that it was jiva and it was not a body, then whatever property has been earned by that body, you are claiming all that, no, as a property of ancestors. So when you are claiming the benefits of that body, then you must as well do some good thing for that body as well. Jivatma doesn't earn anything. Jivatma was, whatever he had come with, the body was given to him, and then the body did some work, and body earned something for the next generation. If you are enjoying that income, that property that is created by that ancestors, then you must equally respect the body. If you are respecting the Jivatma, you should respect the work done by that body as well. Jivatma has not done any work. Jivatma doesn't do any work. He is a new witness. So to respect our ancestors and to respect the work done by them, by their body, if we respect their body as well, nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, we must have this in mind that what we are worshiping now, what we are offering now, is a sort of symbolic. If you say, that means you are offering water to that Jivatma, don't imagine that somebody is really drinking that water. If you are offering food to that your ancestor, don't really imagine that somebody will come and eat that. So this is a symbolic thing, what we do. It is for our own mental satisfaction.
Okay. Because see, in Western culture, there is no this concept at all. But in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan, nowhere he mentioned that it is for particular religion or something like that. It is for the whole humanity as such. So
Yes, right,
that doesn't mean that it is only applicable for Hindus or something like that. It is applicable for whole humanity.
Yes, it is for the humankind, total humanity.
Yes. So I just had a doubt.
Yeah.
I just had a doubt. There is nothing like that. I follow particular religion or something like that, but it is applicable to person. Because they don't believe it, they are not practicing it. That's it.
Because they don't know it.
Yeah.
It comes only when they know it. How many people know Gita in India itself? Forget about other countries. Within India, how many people have understood Gita?
Yeah.
Believing or believing comes little later. It is first to understand what Gita says. And when you understand, you will definitely believe it. That is why we should first study the Gita. If you take one shloka out of context and start discussing that, that's not the right way to discuss Gita. You should read from Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra until Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha. All 700 shlokas you should understand and then make some commentary on Gita. Without knowing entire Gita, if you start commenting on one word or one charan or one shloka of Gita, that's a grave mistake.
Understood.
So you have to understand Gita in totality. Then only you can being Nobody can, of course, comment on Gita, but whatever expressions you want to give about your own thoughts or your own thinking, you can develop your thinking only when you know Gita to some extent. If you know only part of Gita, if you know only first adhyaya, for example, Dharma Kurukshetra, up to this last part of this, and if you say that I know Gita, no, I know what is the problem. Is it correct to know that we say that I have understood Gita by reading just one adhyaya? It's not correct, no? So until you read all 18 adhyayas, it's not correct to say anything about Gita.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm really making a lot of takeaways from this Chintanika, Guruji. I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Do we have any more questions, or I'll move towards the ending? Okay. Thank you so much, Vikas Bhaiya, for your valuable time. Geeta Parivar has provided us with a divine platform serving as a mediator for bright life. Thank you so much for this blessing. A warm thanks to all the Geeta Parivar volunteers to ensure smooth going session. And a final big thanks to all the enthusiastic listeners for being zealous and passionate till the end. For closing of this session, I would like to call upon Shri from Hyderabad, who is a techno star and serves in graphic designing department since Jan 2023.
Jai Shri Krishna. Shall I start?
Yes.
Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevau Vrajapriyam Dharma Samstapakau Virang Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, all of you. Hope to see you in the next Gita interpretation session. Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपै तीनों लोक हाँकते कांपे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है, पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna Dada. I will end the meeting now. Thank you very much for the session.